evening! Hello, everybody! Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Cindy, hello, Cindy. Welcome in, gamers. So, last time, I fucked up. Last time, I had the audacity to try a new mod out mid-playthrough. Will not be making that mistake again. David, sat me down and was like, I don't care if the mod page says it's fine to install mid-playthrough. I don't care if your friends tell you it's fine to install mid-playthrough. I don't care if Burke himself says it's fine to install mid-playthrough. Don't. But I restarted my computer. I did some test runs. So we should be good tonight. If we're not, then I'm gonna scream. Then that is the only option. I'm gonna scream. But hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. So without further ado, let's get cooking. So pretty much, the way I tried to test it is one of the issues we found was going to Ustengrav to Labyrinthian, and it was fast traveling from Ustengrav, or being in Ustengrav for a little bit. And what ended up happening, you might notice, we're not in Ustengrav. This is Whiterun. In fact, this is Ysolda's house. Not sure how we got in there. What happened was, as I was testing to make sure everything was okay. Let me turn the BGM and audio off real quick. I died. And it put me back at Ysolda's house. So we are going to Labyrinthian, okay? I just had to die first. For flavor text, I suppose. But we did get to Mirror Watch, so I have to go avenge myself. The way I died, by the way, was very stereotypical EB fashion. I killed myself with blood magic. Yes, it is a chorus that killed me. I'm not particularly. Oh my god. Okay, I didn't think he'd just come out swinging like that. Okay, hold on. Let me kill this man. Hi, for dislike. Oh my god. Sorry. I was not ready for your name to just be shading Ford automobiles. Good for you, bestie. But welcome to this stream. Let's see if I can kill this man. Okay, apparently sucking him off is not the play. But we did have to dismiss Lydia, unfortunately, just because I might have fucked her up. Derogatory. Did that not hit? How did that not hit? I used to work for them. That makes more sense. I thought you were just like, I see a Ford F-150. Man, fuck that shit. Okay, let's see if I can do, let's go back to maybe something. Let's, I don't want to die again. Oh, I'm fucking, yeah, I'm dying. Hold up. Maybe we should not drink the potion of blood. I really do want to beat the vampire allegation. She's a blood mage, but she's not a vampire. It's different. Hi, Waggle. Welcome to Gamer. Okay, please don't die. Please, here, let me just, can I suck you off real quick? There we go. Okay, that one hit. Wait. There we go. If it heals me back, if it gives me my health back, then it hits. Okay, come on. Come on, we're playing with fire. Okay, we're good. We're good. It was the kill move. Okay, what? Okay, there we go. Debuff removed. See? So the game works now. It's not crashing anymore, and I live. And I killed the thing. So we should still have Lucian and Inigo with us. I don't see them, frankly. Oh, there's Lucian. Hey, buddy. Do you know where Inigo is?
How are you doing?
I'm okay. Have you seen Inigo?
Bye for now.
Bye.
Hello, that is one mysterious looking tower. I wonder if anyone's home.
I mean, we could go in. We'll come back later, okay? I do want to go in. I do want to see the cool tower, but we need to, I said we would get to Labyrinthian today, and by God, we're gonna do it. Also, apparently we have a museum shipment drop box here, so I don't know what's in that tower, but it must be something important for there to be a drop box here, so let's drop off some stuff. But I'm doing okay. I've developed this weird cough. I think it might be due to allergies, but I'm not sure, because I feel fine otherwise. But then if I inhale too deeply, I get this really deep cough. So if I randomly mute my mic, it's because I'm dying. So Basically, I think I should be okay. I really hope I'm good in time for a donathon and we don't have to postpone it. I think I'll be fine. I've been taking some medicine, but I think it's just, I hate allergies. I hate allergies so much. Received my art commission, my Skyrim OC. That's awesome, gamer. I remember the first time I got art of one of my OCs, like not including my my VTuber, and it was like magical. I was literally just, I don't know. It's so cool to see how different artists interpret like your creation, you know, and how they bring it to life. I remember I used to commission art for every chapter I wrote of my fantasy novel, so each one would have an art piece with it for each chapter, an illustration. Unfortunately, the IRS came after me and I wasn't able to afford it for every chapter anymore, but the chapter art I do have, I cherish. It's so pretty. Alright, let's see. Yeah, this one can go. Let's see. He's a lich but doesn't use conjuration. You know what? Good for him. He's quirky. Yeah, this one can go. This one can go. I'm trying to just kind of get rid of a bunch of shit because our carry weight is at 535 out of 660, which isn't like the worst it's ever been, but it's definitely not great, you know. All right, anything else I can do? Anatomancer's pipe should have a display. I thought I put that up for a display. I might have grabbed it for something. He's also a kleptomaniac. Nobody's perfect. Everyone's got flaws, you know. My character, you know, her perks are she's very well spoken and intelligent, and her cons are she's a war criminal, but you know, it's cool. Okay, if the Makoto ends up not having a display, I'm genuinely gonna be shocked, honestly, because that shit's like 16,000 gold worth, and I don't know, man. If it's gotta have a display, right? It's gotta. I might have to look it up because I know some of the displays are like unmarked. So let me save again just so I don't have to do all that inventory management again, because that would be mid. And let's see. We'll skedaddly do. Let me use my fast boy move because I don't feel like. There we go. Whee! I don't feel like walking. I will let the magic walk for me. But yeah, so things have been going good. I was so bummed about last week. If you weren't here last week, I went to stream and then my game crashed, and it crashed like I think. Oh, we gotta be careful. It crashed I think 3 times total. I was so sad. We had to get David to come help us like 3 times, and it was because, again, like I said, I made the cardinal sin of installing a mod mid playthrough. Won't do that again. Won't do that again. But I was genuinely so sad. I like ended stream because I was so excited, you know? So I ended stream and I was just like but then David made me ice cream and we watched Bridgerton. So it was okay. Which, by the way, me and David started watching Bridgerton. I did not expect that show to be so spicy. Like, I didn't know what it was going into it. It's basically like 1800s 1800s England, but like cunt. You know what I mean? Like really cunty. And I'm enjoying it a lot. We just started season 2, but I recommended it to my mom because I thought my mom would like it, because it's one of those shows where there's a lot of drama. You know what I mean? Like it's like a reality show but set in the 1800s. And I recommended it to my mom, but I recommended it to my mom before I finished season 1. And at the end of season 1, there's like 3 episodes where just like the whole time it's just these 2 people fucking. Like, like I'm not gonna give spoilers, but there's literally 3 episodes that just nothing but just like just absolute fucking, you know? So I recommended it to my mom, and we'll see if she watches it or not. It's gonna be really awkward if she does. But you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. He stole the Dragonborn's boots, Jarl Balgruff's mead while he was drinking it. That's impressive. A market stall and a dragon shout wall. How do you steal a wall? That's what I'm trying to figure out. How do you steal a wall? Okay, it looks like we're on our way to Labyrinthian. I fucking hate Labyrinthian. I know I said this last time. I'm gonna say it again. I don't want to spend a lot of time here, but I know there's lots of puzzles here, and I don't trust myself to make good choices or to use any critical thinking skills. It's just not something I'm known for. It's just not, you know, a thing I do, but we're gonna see what happens. All right, let me drink some water real quick. All right, hello, Labyrinthian. Hello? I'm inside you. I need to enter. Okay, I'm not inside you yet, but I'm almost inside you. Oh, that is a frost troll. How... Does he know I'm there? Probably. He's on my little map. Where you at? Hello? Mr. Troll? Hello? Oh, he's all the way up there. Oh, he's just chilling. Okay. Well, if he gets close, I'll start swinging, but it's fine. He's just chilling. You know, I'm not gonna throw the... Oh, that one is not just chilling. Okay, well, I guess we're murdering. There we go. I think I get a 4 out at a time? Yeah, let's go with that. There we go. And then... Oh, that's my fast boy move. We'll put boil blood on the right hand. Everything else, yeah, my conjurations can do the work for me. Yay! Okay. Anything good? We'll take the ingredients real quick. You guys got that one? Lucian's going and swinging. I know I set his NFF to, like, not have him go in swinging, but if that's what it wants to do, then alright. Okay, there he goes. Awesome. I picked up Dragon Age 1 and 2 for like $2.99. Ooh, nice. I know we started a Dragon Age playthrough, but it was like literal years ago. Like literal... I don't think I was even using this model yet. It was so long ago. It was Dragon Age Origins, and it's like I thought about... I don't know. Maybe I might try it again. Maybe I might try another playthrough again, because I do like Dragon Age. It's just one of those games where it's like, I like playing it, but I don't know if I'm...
Let's not waste.
Why is everyone naked?
Are we truly sure this is a good idea?
What? Maybe not with no clothes on.
Anyone even knows we're gone.
You would care about that, since you're the Archmage.
I mean, I didn't go to I didn't go to parties when I was in college. Is this what they do?
Let's just get inside. See what's in there.
Is this what college parties are like? I didn't go. I didn't get invited. I was a music major. I didn't have time. Or friends. But mostly time. That's a really ugly dog. Hi, Jackie. Look, a big gamer. Alright, we need to find the Staff of Magnus. The Staff of Magnus. Okay. Let's see. Can't say
I can't believe we're doing this.
Oh. Wait, are they clothed now? Okay, the guys are clothed now, but the women are still naked.
Like you're sure.
Again, is that what happens at the college
Given
party?
the history of this
Do
place,
the girls have to be
it's more
naked?
than likely there's still some amount of power
I'm
here.
gonna grab that book real quick. Dragon plate doll. Oh, that's kind of cute though. Wait, hold up. I don't know what the fuck they're saying. Wait, look at this doll. Wait. It's so cute. It's got a little army. Oh my god. I love this. It's so fucking cute. Okay, anyway. Sorry. Back to naked ghost orgies. Well, maybe not orgies, but I feel like that's where this is leading. I'm gonna be honest.
What if there are things guarding this place?
Against 6 college-trained mages? I think we'll be fine.
I think we'll be fine. That's what I'm saying. Listen, I'm very sex positive. I'm very, whore friendly. You know, if you want to be a whore, good for you. Just be safe, you know? But I feel like being naked in the mountains in Skyrim is not being safe. I feel like that's a hypothermia speedrun, low-key. Like, I don't want to tell anyone how to live their life. Maybe they're all Nords. Maybe Nord blood is stronger than I thought, but, like... I don't know, man. It doesn't seem, safe to me. But like I said, what do I know? You know, I'm a fucking milk drinker. Like, I feel like if I was in Skyrim, I'd be an Imperial because I'm cold all the fucking time. Oh, I know what this is. Oh, there's a big guy over there. I remember this. I think I remember this because the last playthrough we did it kicked my fucking ass.
Sorry, dust.
That's okay. All right. We're gonna bring out, I think, honestly, I think do we see the stats for them? Our Flame Atronach? No. I like our Flesh Colossuses, but I feel like the Flame Atronachs do more damage. So we're gonna try it with those. And we got the posse here. I don't know where the fuck Inigo is. So we're gonna have to figure that one out. But Lucian's here. Alright. Hey. Oh boy. Hey. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Okay, I need my fire magic out because blood magic does not do any damage to bitches that don't have blood. So, let's see. Firebolt. Close enough. Okay. Stop. 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 Oh, shit. Okay, it's not... I'm not taking damage. Okay, there we go. Alright. Oh my god. Okay. That's a lot. I'm just gonna... Oh, shit. You're still alive. That's a... Oh, fuck. Okay. Let's, potion. Health. Let's do... Conjurers. Fortify health. Healing. And maybe a magicka potion. And fortify sneak. Why not? Okay. Oh, they're still after me. Oh, shit. Okay. Let's see if I can get behind them. It's fucking dark in here, too. Okay. How do I get the dragon, but not the fucking skeletons? Why is this guy not taking damage? Why am I not doing damage to this man? Hello? Leave me alone. What the heck? Are we just... Why are they not taking damage? Yeah, they resist... Oh, no, that's my atronach. Okay. Yeah, bro is not... Oh, my God. Okay, you know what? Let's do... He's not gonna take damage from frost, either. Okay, hold on. Maybe the shout would work? Yo! No, that did nothing. Okay, hold on. Okay, maybe we do bring out the Flesh Colossus. Let me see. Let's bring out big boys. Alright, big boy time. I need a big boy. Okay. Big naked leather daddy, where are you? Wait, where'd leather daddy go? Oh, shit. I can't see shit. Okay, hold on. I love when the lighting is realistic, but now it's too realistic and I can't see anything. Okay. Where are you coming from? Okay, where's the leather daddies? No, I need... Oh, I forgot to change my spell. God damn it. This one. Oh, shit. Okay, I got shot. Extreme healing. Yes. Yes. Very good. Okay. Alright. And then more magicka, because I'm a baby. But that's fine. There we go. Leather daddy number 1. Leather daddy number 2. And then maybe I have a staff that'll work. Although I did put a shit ton of my staffs away. Staff of soul trapping. No, it's not gonna help me here, but that's okay. Maybe I can at least get some souls? I don't know. Yeah, okay. There we go. Go, leather daddy! Yes, he's doing damage! Go, leather daddy! Yay! Fuck him up! Okay, and then can I finish him off with Firebolt? Will that do something, even if it's not a ton? I don't have Firebolt in my favorites, do I? That. It's one. What do you mean 1 damage? How does that do? Okay, well we got a soul at least. All right, is that everybody? Are we done? That was a lot. Okay, all right. Thank you. See, I'm not just saying leather daddy for no reason. Look at him. It's leather daddy. You know that castle that... Actually, maybe I should say that. Hi, Morgan! Welcome, big gamer. We have just cleared this first little area in our quest to find the Staff of Magnus. I feel like I quick save, but I'm gonna quick save again just because there was that teensy tiny bit of doubt. That maybe I didn't. Ooh, pit. Love that. And let's forge ahead, I guess. If nothing else, we're filling soul gems, even if everyone else is doing the work. But she does look very cool with this. Let's see. I feel like this is an Instagram moment. Hold on. Can we have an Instagram moment real quick? Oh, yeah. Instagram moment. Yay! And then like another. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a book cover right there. Oh, yeah. That's looking good. Okay, that's the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail. All right. Let's keep going. A book on a pedestal. I'm sure there's... Oh, everyone's back.
We can't leave Gerduin.
My God, she's even got ghost nipples. Ghost areolas.
It's too late. There isn't enough of
Is
them
there
left to go
ghost
back in
pussy?
after.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Didn't want to pickpocket the...
Whatever.
Oh, no. They're wearing underwear. Okay. Well, that's good.
Might as well go forward. We can still do this.
Savos is right. We can make it if we just stay alert.
Okay, well, let me check this out real quick. Hail all, brave city of Bromjanar. Forever these walls shall stand. May enemies see her majesty. May all quake to behold her. Well, that's nice. Okay. Let's head down here then, I guess. Ooh, chasm. Love me a good chasm. When he was alive, he ate some Shrek gummies. Do y'all remember the Scooby-Doo gummies? Fairly apparently they don't make those anymore. Someone told me they don't make the little Scooby-Doo, like, gummy snack packs. I just remember the blue ones were really good. Apparently they don't make them anymore, which is kind of sick and twisted. Whoa! Oh my god, it's so fucking loud. Why are all the holy beings so loud? I mean, I guess it makes sense, but still, I don't like it.
Octavius was something of a hoarder himself, you know. Always wished he could carry more. Remind you of anyone?
Are you cold? Are you okay? Am I okay? None of us look okay. Alright, we'll just breeze past that then. Well, oh, hello. Okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, well, I guess we're not going that way. I do no fucking damage. What the fuck? Okay. Do I have, like, a debuff or something? Fear of the undead. Oh, how do I cure that fear? Is there a way I can do that? I know there are some fears I get from dying, but... like, I don't know. Okay, a lot of my other stuff is just, dealing with backstories things, so I don't know what that's about. Let's put my little ball of light back up. Hello? Where is it? Candlelight. There we go. I love how everyone's turning Starfield into a Star Wars game. That does not surprise me. Okay, that's just flames, so... Oh! The answer is simple, isn't it? Yeah, that's... that, you know... Yeah, that adds up. Wow, who'da thunk it? Ghostolus. Ghostiolas. Oh no. Ah! Oh, shit. Hi, night. God, it's nothing. Alright, we need more leather daddies. Alright, come on. Oh shit, he sucked me off. Okay. Here, get in there, Lucian. You can do it. You can do it, buddy. Yay! Okay, now you get a friend. Boop, phone a friend. Okay. Do my... I mean, I can heal Lucian. Maybe I can be of some help. Oh, shit. Here you go, buddy. No. Wait, where are you going? Where? Oh, okay. All right, if he's fine. I guess he's fine. He's fine. That's a big jump to make, but... Okay. Are you fine? You're good. You're good? You're fine? Oh, shit. Shit, I'm out of sauce. Okay, I need more sauce. Extreme magic. There we go. There you go. Be healed! Oh, fuck! Okay, where did that come from? What? Oh, that guy! Hi! Okay, do we need more leather daddies? That's all I can offer you in this trying time. Okay. There we go. Alright, you guys handle that. I'm gonna scout ahead. You guys deal with that. I'm gonna, oh.
Wasn't sure which way that was going to go.
Yeah, me neither, bestie. Okay, so I guess we need to head down. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Well, I guess we're going this way then. Another Draugr. Can I get all the way down there? I feel like I'm gonna die if I make that jump. I'm gonna try, but I think I will die. Okay. Oh, okay, now I'm definitely gonna die. Oh, maybe not. Aha! Whoa!
Must I use this guttural language of yours?
Bro, leave me alone! Leave me alone! I'm cold here. Oh shit. Okay, where are you? Oh, hi. Okay. These guys. There we go. Okay. They should be able to take care of him. He's level 21? Yeah. Okay, there we go. And maybe another one? Oh. Okay. I just gotta dodge and let the hot women do the work. Just dodge and let the hot ladies do the thing. Okay? Maybe we can get one more? One more for the choir? Yay! Hi, Harlequin! Welcome in, gamer. I'm doing okay. I was doing okay. Then I got shot in the fucking chest. I'm doing as decent as one. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Let me amend that statement. I'm doing okay. Maybe. Oh shit! The double rain! Not right as I died. God damn it! Welcome a shout out, Minra and Kimia. I would really
Gaslight,
appreciate
Geek,
it.
Girl
Minra,
Boss.
thank you so much for the following on Gaslight Geek Girl Boss.
Gaslight,
if you
Geek,
thank you for the
Girl
following on
Boss.
Gaslight Geek Girl Boss. If you are new in town, hi. My name is EB Games. I am a time traveling witch who likes to play Skyrim, and I like women with big boobies. That's about it. That's all you need to know. And I just fucking died. So, that's not great. What are you guys playing? What do you guys do? Oh, where am I? Oh, did I die because I haven't blessed up? Wait, hold up. Okay, we're gonna go manlet mode. I do see the redeem. We're gonna go manlet mode. Can I bless up real quick? Just bless up. Bless up? Can I not bless up in the cave? I don't think I can bless up here. Oh, I have spells or weapons run. Okay, bless up. Bless up. Bless up. Bless up. We have to pray to Daddy Hermaeus Mora. Daddy Hermaeus Mora, please give us the fat knowledge that we need to get the Staff of Magnus so we can skibbity all over that twink high elf.
Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl
being
Boss.
A little bitch. Zippy, thank you so much for the follow. You're now a Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss. Alright, yes. Heavenly Father, Hermaeus Mora, please let me, fuck that twink. Amen. Okay, there we go. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Ooh, that sounds really fun. Oh, that's the wrong way. I've always wanted to like get into Borderlands, but I've never played any of the games before. Where the fuck am I, by the way? Okay, so we're still in Labyrinthian. We're just all the way. Okay, we need to go back to the chasm, so we need to go this way. Okay, so it could have been way worse when we died, but it was, oh, right, manlet time. I'm so sorry. So if you're new in town, we do a little thing here at EB Games called manlet mode. If you're not familiar with manlet mode, let me show you. We just, yeah, manlet mode. It's manlet time for the next 30 minutes or until my game crashes, whichever comes first. Thank you for the resume. Hello, Volsbury. Welcome to manlet mode. But welcome in, gamer. We are. Wait, do I have to kill the fucking? Oh, wait, Lucian's there. Lucian, are you good? Oh no, Lucian, I'm sorry I died. Wait, actually, why didn't he help me? That was fucked up. Hi, Volsbury. I don't know how long I'll be around. That's okay. Are you doing degeneracy? Well, not quite yet. Although I did accidentally see a bunch of naked ghost wizards. So, I mean, someone's doing degeneracy. It might not be me for once, but there sure is someone. I must commit lurk. That's okay, gamer. Thank you so much for being here. I just appreciate you being here. If anyone came from the stream, and for Kimia and Minra, if you need to go get some water, if you need to go to the bathroom, all that jazz, please feel free. Please don't feel like you have to stick around. But thank you again for the raids. I really appreciate it. All right, let's see. Is this where? Yeah, okay, we've been here before. Now we just need to find where we died. I still don't know why we have the fear of Draugr. Oh, Eldritch Page. Oh, we need to read that. Okay, let me read that because we are a follower of Hermaeus Mora. And the way we show our devotion to Daddy Mora is one, by blessing up, by praying, right? But we also need to find these Eldritch Pages and read them to get the knowledge, the fat knowledge. Is my lurk redeem not working? Oh, damn, that's crazy. I'll have to check that in a little bit. Why are you tiny? It's only my tech that's supposed to be tiny. Cause Lag Wolf redeemed manlet mode. We're in manlet mode, see? Manlet mode. I'm gonna go rest up. Oh, well, please have a good rest, gamer. Thank you again for the raid. I appreciate it. Alright, let's see. Let's put, our little, what the fuck is it called? The candlelight back up? Maybe we can see just a teensy bit better and maybe not plummet to my death. Have a bit of a better idea of what's going on. Is there anything bad here? Oh, shit. Thank you for the heat. I don't know. As a streamer, I feel obligated to say thank you whenever anything is redeemed, but I'm kind of quite. Oh my god! No. No. No, we're not going to the Silver Blood Inn. Absolutely not. No, 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 no. I don't accept that. No, no. Anyway, as I was saying before I got fucking murked, as a streamer, I feel like I have to say thank you for a lot of things. But I feel like, it's just an impulse. But I feel like there's part of me that's like, I feel like I shouldn't be saying thank you to y'all throwing shit and beating the snot out of me. I feel like that's not, I don't know, that just doesn't feel like a very nice thing for you guys to do. Why am I thanking you? I feel like I need to reevaluate that stance. Okay, let's try this again and not fucking die immediately. That's the goal, is to not fucking die. And we're even gonna quick save another time, okay? The most ace or demisexual of hugs. Hell yeah, gamer. Thank you for the hug. I appreciate it. Let's see. Okay, where is it? It was... Oh, did it just go away since it... Well, no, because I reloaded, so it shouldn't have gone away. Yeah, there's the helmet, and then there's that thing. So, let's just, I can maybe hit it from a distance? God, I can't... Okay. There we go. Okay, perfect. I had to, like, get in the first person to fucking aim it, dude. I'm so small. David, yeah, David. Ah! Okay, David is here, but he's not, like, here. He's chilling, though. He's chilling in the background. Okay, I still do fucking 1 damage. Where are my friends? Why did everyone leave me? Why? Help me, hot women, please. Save me, hot women, save me. Okay, there we go. Yay. Okay. Let's see if we can make our way back through. Can we make our way back through? Okay. Hello? Hello. Okay. There we go. Now we're cooking. There might be blood everywhere, but I haven't died yet, so that's good. What's gonna happen if I use the... What's gonna happen if I use the enchanting table with this size? Let's quick save, because I feel like this might crash my game, but we're gonna try. No? Okay. Subi, thank you for the lurk, I appreciate it. Okay, that's... Yeah, we sure are enchanting. Maybe we can make some potions real quick? Yeah! Yeah! Okay, I don't think I have anything for health restore potions. I mean, oh, never mind, I guess I do. Okay, let's see. I don't have a ton, though, so that's okay. I'm just gonna make some random potions, because Lord knows I fucking need them. I'm going through so many potions in this dungeon. I've said it before, and I will say it again. I fucking hate Labyrinthian. Okay, that's good enough for now. That's good enough for now. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I need to just have clairvoyance on at all times, I think. Hi, Boston! Welcome in, gamer. I'm back for my trip. Please spike someone's drink. Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, I don't think you can in Skyrim. I could just kill somebody, cut out the middleman. Okay, let me see where... Yeah, I think this was just for the chest and for the loot. I don't think that's like a thing. Like a place we need to go to get the Staff of Magnus, but that's okay. We still got to explore. And we got a museum artifact. I don't know if you caught that, but the Ancient Nord helmet is a museum artifact. Let's see. Do we go this way? Why are you short? Because we're in manlet mode. Lag will put us in manlet mode. You don't fuck with manlet mode, bro? Throw 3 potions of fire resistance and don't look at the flame atronachs. I mean, they're hot. Like, you can say wood. Like, they're kind of bad, you know? Contagious Draugr. Okay, I don't like that. Hold on. Women. 3. Women 4. There we go. Help me! Oh, no. He's gonna give me the plague. I don't want the black plague. Oh. Okay, there we go. We're good. We're good? Yeah, we're fine. Okay. Thank you, hot women. I appreciate you. Yeah, get his ass. Okay. Oh, there's another one. Oh, shit. Okay. Let me do... Oh, shit. Did you see that move? Oh, shit. She just did a fucking barrel hole. Barrel roll? Did I say barrel hole? Oh, shit. Gold sapphire ring. Don't mind if I do. Okay. Everyone's dead, so I think we should be good to proceed. I don't know why it, still says I haven't found the guy that killed me. I'm like 99% sure I passed him already. Let's see. Is that the way to go? Yeah, it looks like we're close. Atro titties. Oh, no! No, I'm Evie!
My old friend.
EB. I'm EB Games. Games is my legal last name. EB is my legal first name. Games, comma, EB. Like the Canadian GameStop. Except with more E. Alright, we're getting close. The Staff of Magnus is in our grip. In our little grippy hands. Oh, shit. Okay. Alright, help me out, besties. I'm gonna let them go. I'm here for moral support. Are you guys going? Yeah. Oh, there. Guys, you can help, you know. Let me just, here. Put them somewhere else. Put them somewhere else. There we go. Now they have to help. And I'm gonna walk away. I am too little for this. I am not tall enough to ride this ride.
Ow!
Why are they not hitting him? Is it too close of a space? There we go. Okay, good job. Good job. Yay! I'm just gonna like Fortnite dance. Yay! I can heal him. Let me actually be somewhat useful, and I can get some oh shit! Get some restoration XP at the very least. You can do it, Lucian. I believe in you. Why are the flame ladies useless right now? God damn, they're not doing shit. You guys go on ahead. I'm gonna try to unlock this gate real quick. What's your middle name? I never thought I'd get that far. Is that a valid answer? Is he dead? No, we're still, guys, come on, just get him. Get up there, get in there, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Just another slap. There we go. That's what we like to see. Very good. That's a long middle name. Help me. Thank you. I don't do any damage to Draugr, and it's really annoying. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost mogging. We're so close to mogging.
Great. Undead dragons, ghostly wizards, and a big scary magic draining voice. What could be more fun?
You know, Lucian, I'm glad you're having fun. I'm not. What was that bang? It might have been Lucian's sword and the other guy's like sword going bing. They like touch tips, but not in a sexy way, in a murderous way. Well, it could be both, depending on who you ask. Where's my... Here, let me get my little light back. Hold up. Candle. Oop. And we'll keep moving forward. But welcome to the stream, Marky. Hello, demon. Alright. Hello? Are there any more skeletons? Oh, that's a troll. Oh, I can fight trolls! Ooh. I can fight this. Look. Wait, why is he just chilling? Hold up. Give me your blood. Let me boil your blood. For pancakes. Wait, you don't boil pancakes. Hold on. Let me see. There you go. Okay, here we go. Hada! There we go. Look at all the damage I'm doing. Ignore all the health I'm losing. That's besides the point. Hada! Yeah. Okay, perfect. Oh, wait, no, he's not dead. Yay! Okay, I might have almost killed myself in the process, but I did win. See? That's the thing with blood mages in Skyrim when you use the mods that I'm using. And you can find them in the modless command. If the modless command's not working, I'm gonna have to double check something. But, wait, what? What happened? Why did I start taking it? You see that? No. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. Let me heal myself real quick. But I can do damage to anything that has blood. So that's why these dungeons are so fucking frustrating. Like, Labyrinthian's already kind of a bitch, but the reason I'm having a hard time is it's all Draugr, and I don't do damage to Draugr, so I just gotta, like, spawn the homies and pray. That's our strat right now. I like my blood as is. You know what? Everyone has their own opinion. You can... That's your right, you know, and even though it's wrong, that... Okay, okay, can I dig? I'm in combat. Oh, who's over there? Stop. Stop being in combat. Stop fighting me. I need to be an archaeologist. I just want to be an archaeologist. I don't want to meet God. I just want to dig. I'm like a dog. Oh, is this the one where it's like if you're not in the light, you fucking get murked? I think it's that one. All right, are the ladies coming in? Okay, the ladies are coming in. Or at least we're getting there. Yeah. Oh, stop. Stop. No. Help me. Lucian, help me. Me. There we go. Okay. I'm safe. I'm chilling. Here, let me help you. I help you. See, I'm useful. Get in there, tiger. Yeah. Anything good? No, that's okay. Alright, come on. Alright, who's next? Who's next on the chopping block? Yeah, get his ass. I'm helping. I'm helping. Alright, he should be dead soon. One more. Perfect. Okay, still no artifacts for us, but that's okay. I apologize. He's so loud. All of the gods or the danger people, like anyone that's like important, they're really loud and there's no way to turn their volume down. Hope you're well. I'm doing okay. I have a bout of allergies going on right now, so like I physically feel fine, but I have this really like nasty cough, which like has just popped up. Like everything else is fine. It's just this cough that's like kicking my ass. Oh, let me go back and get those the archaeology thingy. Let me see if I can grab that real quick. So I'm hoping I should be good for Donathon on Sunday. I'm just gonna take a bunch of allergy medicine, maybe pay a visit to the Benadryl Hat Man, and hope for the best. But worst case scenario, we will postpone it. I'm not gonna do what might be a 12-hour stream if I'm not feeling too good, because that would probably just not be fun for anybody. Right, but I think we'll be okay. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. But I'm really excited for Donathon and my new model debut. I'm debuting my new model on Sunday, and Sunday is also my birthday. So we're doing a birthday Donathon so I can save some money, because the IRS took all my money because I'm a small business owner. But that is my goal. But we have a lot of fun stuff with it planned. I'm almost done my lore video. All the music for the lore video I wrote myself. And I've never like written music. Like I've never like done like a film score or anything like that. I've never written music to like purposely go with visuals. So it's definitely like a challenge for sure. But it's been really fun trying to like... It's been really fun to try and solve the problems of like, oh, okay, I need more here. Oh, I need to make this phrase shorter so it lines up with this event and stuff like that. But I'm really excited. I've never, like, this is probably, like, my biggest solo project ever. So I'm excited to see how it turns out, and I hope you guys like it. All right, let's see. 50 new. Get his ass. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. I can't boil their blood. He doesn't have any blood. I don't do damage to him. Okay, there we go. Close enough. Alright, we're definitely close. Oh, what's going on here? Hello? Hello? I don't think you guys are friends. What is you guys doing with me? Why are you circling me like that? Hi, future girl! Be honest with me, smash her past flame atronach. Smash. Is that a hot take? Am I not supposed to put my dick in the lady that's on fire the whole time? Because I'm okay with dying. Like, that's fine with me. You know, it's cool. Alright, I don't think I can do damage to these guys. I'll try. Oh, shit. Oh, no! Fuck! Oh, my spell didn't go. Then I pressed it again, and then I died. Oh, shit. Is Lucian gonna pick me up? Is anyone gonna help me? Or am I just gonna die? Sometimes your followers can pick you up. Sometimes they can pick you up. Please help me. Okay, we're just gonna yeah. Well, that happened. Whoopsie daisy. Such pronounced hips, but they did. Yeah, you know what? If they were gonna make her such a baddie, then like, oh god, this was forever ago. God damn. They shouldn't have made her such a baddie if they didn't want me to smash. I'm gonna be honest. Like, they totally could have just not made her that hot, but they did. So, you know. That's on them. Alright, can I dig? This wouldn't have happened if they just let me dig. Okay, let's try this again, and maybe quick save a little more often. I don't want to face failure again. I faced failure like 8 times already today. Please. Please give it a rest. Please. Did you dismiss your other followers? So we dismissed Lydia because the problem that we had last time was related to her. So I wanted to dismiss her just in case we might bring her back. But we lost Inigo. I don't know where bro is. So we're just gonna have to see what happens with that one. I don't know how to make him quieter. We'll try lowering the voice volume just for a little bit, but everyone else's voices is gonna be really quiet, unfortunately. I'll just start speaking for them. Don't worry. Nothing can go wrong with that. Nothing. All right. Hello? His ass. Come on. One more. One more. Come on. Yay! Okay. Perfect. All right. Let's keep going. I'm gonna quick save. After everything I kill, I'm just gonna quick save at this point because I know I'm gonna die a lot. I lost Lydia. I actually by launching her off the cliff. Get this over with. Come on. Come on. No, I'm not.
Sent you in his place.
Not. I guess I'm not gonna. We're not digging. It's okay. We don't need to dig today. It's fine. Hello. Come on in, ladies. It's your time. And Lucian, ladies and Lucian. Yeah, even the voice volume slider didn't do anything. Jesus Christ. Is there no other volume slider? I do want to check real quick. Maybe it's... Nope, okay. I'll just bring that back up then, since it didn't change anything. We'll just have to deal with his yapping. Okay, there we go. Come on, get his ass. Alright, let's see. We'll just put one right here, so he doesn't get stuck or have to move. There we go. I'm sure we'll be able to find an eagle eventually. I know when we like fast travel, he'll probably pop back up then. That should be fine. Okay. Hello? Alright, there we go. Quick save again. I fucking hate labyrinthine. But we're good. If we just quick save often, we will be fine. Nothing will be bad. Okay? Should be at home or Rift in jail. Yeah, I think we did set his home, but I'm not 100% sure. This way. Oh wait, I just went in a fucking circle. Good job, EB. Good job, gamer. There we go. Yippee! Okay. This way? Yeah, this way. That's right, the wisp ladies are here. Okay, I'm gonna... Wait. Hello? You have to walk all the way over here. Maybe if I spawn my stuff, it'll like cause it to trigger faster. Yeah, there she goes. Okay. There we go. Okay. I can't really aim with how little I am, but I'm trying. Okay, so they're getting the wisps. We're just gonna try regular blood drain. I don't think it's gonna work on them.
This'll all be over.
Oh no, it does work. Okay. Let me do the safer one. Drain health is safer. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright, I can do the wisps. Oh shit, I can't see anything. But I am draining health, apparently. Wait, what? Is Lucian killing me? No, 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 no dying. No dying. That's not allowed. That's not allowed. Can't do that. I can't see shit. Oh my god, I can't see anything. Oh my god. Help me, Lucian! Oh no, 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 no. Is that just not? Oh no, I don't have magicka for that one. Okay, come on. I don't want to use my blood magic spells. See, I'm missing one type of bone. I don't know what it is. Every time I go to try and make some boners, it's like, you don't have enough bones. And it's like, I'm like 99% sure I have every bone, but it won't let me. Oh, damn. Okay, he's popping off. She's gonna do a big whirlwind spell, isn't she? Okay, let's just move the ladies over here. Just move them. Move them over here. There we go. Come on. Just one more lady. Let me spawn one more. Oh, Lucian's gonna fucking die. Oh, I need more magicka. I need more magicka. Okay, he's fine. He's fine.
Good teamwork.
Yeah, good job, gamer. All right, we did it. Quick save. Not doing that again. Fuck that. Okay. There we go. All right. Let's keep going. I think that should be good though. Yeah, we're getting close. I just need the staff. Oh! Stop shouting!
Your wrongdoing.
No!
That it would only serve to strengthen me.
No.
So many ruins in Skyrim. More than there are houses, it feels like.
Yeah, it's probably an issue. Can I? Oh. Who the fuck is that? Wait, what? What? What was that? Oh, okay. If this is fire door, do I need to do frost on this one? I mean, that would make sense. Yeah, Lucian, can you get out of the way? There we go. There we go. Just looks like I'm fucking peeing frost with the angle, but that's all right. That's fine. Okay, we are gonna put it back out of manlet mode now. we've had our fun. I mean, God, she's so little. The Anchorman loud noises. Yeah, they're just yapping, bro. They're yapping. Okay, oh, let's do right there. There we go. Now we're set. Totally didn't fuck with the camera too much at all. That's a very normal amount of fuckery. Okay, let's go back to this one. There we go. Hi, boy. Welcome to Gamer. Alright, let's see.
Just another minute, please.
Who's takes in line?
Come on.
Oh,
We
that's
can't
one
stop
of
now.
the
We have to
college
keep
people.
moving.
Do you
Where's
have your
Evelyn?
pussy out?
She was right
Oh,
behind
she
you.
does. Okay. Okay.
Dead.
I'm sorry. I'm
Something
sorry.
grabbed
I
her
didn't think
from
she
behind.
would. I just wanted to check.
Gone before I could do anything.
I keep digging myself into this hole. Okay.
We never should have come.
Here, can you guys help? Stop being naked and doing nothing. Help me.
Turn around, head back.
Come on. Oh, it's spectral. Can I? Is the blood magic gonna work
Going
here?
back is a good idea.
I don't know. You're not gonna. You don't have any blood, so. I mean, well, it is letting me heal off him. I'm just not doing damage hardly. I guess that works. Is this a college quest? Yes. This is finding the Staff of Magnus. So we need to do this, and then we will hopefully, even though people keep telling me it's not gonna happen, we'll hopefully finish College of Winterhold today. That is my goal, is to finish the College of Winterhold quest line today. All right, get his ass. Maybe my fire magic will start to do more? I don't know. Like, I tried. Okay, close enough. Perfect. Ooh, Drainheart sword. Oh, we need that for the museum. Fuck yeah. Okay. Let's save again. You never save too often. And then get my little light bulb. Boop. And we'll keep going. Oh my god. Ah!
Face your end.
Stop yapping. There we go. Alright, time to face my end. Well, maybe not that way. Maybe we'll circle around through that. Oh, shit. Wait, what? What was that? Oh, I do have to go down, don't I? Okay, Is that really the way? Is that the way? I don't know if that's the way. I'll try it, I guess. Terry Onmund, he just does something for you. You know what? I'm not gonna kink shame. You do. Oh shit! Oh fuck! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Can I suck? Suck! 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 Oh, he doesn't have blood. I'm not doing any damage. Oh shit! Why is there a dead troll here? The fuck? Okay. 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 More women. More women. More women. More women. Don't give me. Don't. No. 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 Don't. No. 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 Oh fuck. Okay. 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 I need to. I don't do any damage to them because I'm a blood mage. Okay. Maybe can I boost? Like they're spectral. It's not gonna work, right?
Boost, Roda!
Oh shit! Okay. I don't know how that makes sense, but I'm not complaining. I do no fucking damage to them, but it's fine. I'm participating. I'm participating. Okay. Maybe another flame lady here. There you go. More women. Okay. Ooh, Drainblood battle axe. Okay, so there should be Drainheart sword. We already have one of the Drainheart sword, so we don't need another one. Damn, that's cool as shit. Okay. Okay, let's see. Alright, is it mogging time? Oh my god, it's almost fucking mogging time. It's almost mogging time. It's gonna be so skibbity when I find the Staff of Magnus. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll stop. I'll stop. I'll stop. You need to not be alive. Don't do that. I don't care if you're just level 1. I'm afraid of you. Thank you. Okay.
Fighting with a backpack on?
Let's see. Oh shit. Is there another one?
Looks.
Oh, that's just the dog. Okay. What's the dog doing? Alright, that's another. Oh, that one actually is. Oh. Ladies. Ladies. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, there we go. Alright. Y'all handle that. I know it says I'm level 32, but I really just they don't have blood. Ah, sorry. Okay. Alright, do you have anything cool? No, it's just the sword again. Okay. I've been trying to play more Oblivion because I haven't really played Oblivion. I need to finally play Oblivion. I don't know. I might play Oblivion. I might wait for the remaster, but I'm sure there's some good mod packs out there for Oblivion at this point. You know, I'm debating if I should wait for the remaster or if I should just, like, try it raw. Oh, shit. Okay, can I? Oh, wait, whoa. Hey. There's a thing over there. Did you know that? There's a thing over there. Woo! Yeah, Sky Oblivion is gonna be out in a year. That's it. So, okay. There's Sky Oblivion, but if I recall correctly, there's gonna be, didn't Todd say something about an official Oblivion remaster or something like that? Or am I just making that the fuck up? It's very possible I just made that the fuck up, but I thought I heard like something about that. That was a supposed leak. Ooh, okay. But there is Sky Oblivion, which is basically a remake of Oblivion in Skyrim. So there is that. Okay. Let me just can I get that to go away? There we go. And then you get out of here. Okay. And then is that one gone? I think that one's fine. I wouldn't hold my breath. But how long Elder Scrolls 6 is taking? Yeah. Okay, these are fine. Give me these. Give me these. Alright, let's keep going. Hello? Hi. Nothing. Literally nothing. Okay, great. Come on. Come on. Come on. I don't know why it's... Oh, it's because I'm locked on. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I can't see anything. Oh, there's another dude there. Okay, I come back here. I come back here. I come back here. I come back here. I'm safe here. Safe. Yes. Okay. As long as that guy doesn't decide to come for me. We're good. Oh, Lucian, please don't die. You know, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Fine. And there's a guy in here too, but it's fine. We'll leave Lucian with one guy. Yeah, there you go. And then, do you want some healing? Do you want some soup? Soup. There you go, buddy. There you go. That many Skyrim versions are. I'm surprised I haven't tried remastering the older games. See, that's the thing is I kind of like... I've never played... I have a lot of people ask me, like, my opinions on, like, other Elder Scrolls things as someone who pretty much exclusively streams Skyrim when it comes to games. I have not played Oblivion. I have not played Morrowind. I don't know shit. Like, I feel bad because it's like, you know, objectively speaking, I probably should play those games, but I just haven't, you know? And I don't know. I should, but I don't really have a desire to, low-key. You know, I'm kind of happy just playing Skyrim, honestly. I'm happy to be here, you know? Morrowind's the best Elder Scrolls game. I definitely need to try that, honestly. I did like ESO. I played ESO a little bit. I wanted to start... Oh, he's going to start yapping again. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Alright, that's fine. I thought he was going to start screaming, but maybe not. Okay. Boop. 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 There we go. Todd is on record saying he wants people to play the older games for what they are and he has no interest in remastering them. I mean, that's fair, I guess. But, like, I don't know. I liked ESO a lot and I liked learning more about, like, Tamriel lore and stuff like that. I think it's good. I thought it was very interesting. And I wanted to start playing it again because one of my VTuber students, one of the VTubers I used to teach, I used to teach singing lessons to, she plays a lot of Elder Scrolls Online. And she was like... All the VTubers play Final Fantasy 14. I need more VTubers to play Elder Scrolls Online with. And I was super down because I like ESO. But the thing is I got locked out of my account for it because when I started playing it, it was like way before I was a VTuber. So I need to like find a way to shift my ESO account to my from my IRL email to my VTuber email. And the thing with that is it's like, oh, we need you to verify your characters. Can you give us the name of your first character? Or like these two characters? And I'm like, no. That was 4 or 5 years ago. I'm sorry. I don't know who the fuck they are. Okay, we have the battle axe already, so we should be good. Alright, let's see. We'll save again. Alright, and we're actually gonna take, well, how far are we? Because I need to go to the bathroom, but it's like, do we push through? How close are we? Here, we're gonna... Oh, there's a bunch of guys over there. Okay, let's get through this fight, and then we're gonna take a quick bathroom break. Just because, like I said, I've been dealing with allergies, and I, like, feel fine. But the way I've been... Whoa! Okay. But the way I've been able to feel fine is I'm drinking a shit ton of water. I gotta pee. So, let's... Ooh, okay, come on. Let's try that again. More women! More women! He said that about the original Fallout games that they didn't make. Alright, come on. Is that good? Are we good? No! Oh, shit. Okay, that clipped me. Come on, come on. These guys got fucking... Oh, the blizzard spells crazy. Oh my god! It feels like the radius just keeps getting bigger. Alright. Oh, it's a Draugr Deathlord. That's why. Okay. Okay. Just keep sending the ladies out, and we should be fine. Come on. Yeah, okay, he's level 30. So he's hefty, but it should be doable. Okay, one more woman. One more woman. Okay, that should explode and then do damage. No, she didn't explode. Why didn't she explode? I need my women to explode! Oh, are you okay? Oh, okay. You know what? You're fine. Alright, there we go. He's dead. All that for 4 gold? Jesus Christ. Okay, that doesn't feel... That doesn't feel very nice. Whoa! Hey! Hello?
We shouldn't have left her there to die.
Oh shit, lore.
What else could we do? Stay there and die with her? She refused to go on. We didn't have a choice.
Oh.
This is it, you know. Through this door. Can you feel it?
We're not going to make it, are we?
The love
We stay together.
tonight.
No matter what. Agreed?
I'll be right with you.
Oh fuck, they lost 2 of them.
We all stay together.
That breezed past my head. Okay, well, I guess the college orgy didn't go so great, huh? Alright. Behind this door. Oh shit. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, really quick, just so I can go pee and get more water, because a bitch is dehydrated. So if you've been watching the stream since we first started, please go grab a snack, go grab some water, grab some food, and we will be back in, let's say 3 minutes, just so I don't have to rush peeing. You're not supposed to power piss. Power pissing is bad for you. It's not good for your bladder. I read that on the internet, so it might not be true. But you shouldn't listen to an anime girl on the internet for medical advice anyway. So, yeah, BRB! Alright, gamers. I came, I pissed, I conquered. Let's fucking mog. Okay, let's see. Alright, let me back in. Let me back in. Is it time? Oh, it's so time. It's so time. I'm saving again just in case because I have anxiety. Okay. Hello? Hello? Hi, Blacksmith! Welcome in, gamer. We're about to mog. We're about to get the staff of mogness. Listen, I'm sorry, but the fucking Gen Alpha skibbity shit is so funny. I'm sorry, it's so fucking funny to me, and I'm not gonna pretend it's not. Okay, let's see. Can I, now you guys are busy, but can I just, skeet past you? Oh, hey. You guys, in the middle of something? Okay, well, I guess I'll just start swinging. I guess I'm just gonna start blasting, because that just seems to be the, logical thing to do. I just woke up from a nap. Nice. I love midday naps. They're the best. I wish I could be a cat and just sleep like 12 hours a day. Bless you, David. David is borked. I don't know if he's David. Okay. Are we gonna... We need to bonk that man. Okay. He's out of it.
All the living shall fear the dead.
Okay. Start. Yeah. Start. Fuck that man.
I will return!
Oh, wow. That guy sucked at being a enthralled wizard. He just keeled over. He wasn't very enthralled at all. I'm back with energy drink. Ooh. I used to drink a lot of energy drinks when I was in college, but I don't drink them as much anymore, which is probably for the best, but some of them were yummy. Okay, those Mountain Dew, like the cherry kickstarts, those were fucking awesome. Oh, it's big boy time. Okay, this is not good. This is not good. This is not good. Is Gen Alpha the new generation? Yeah. So, like, there's Millennials, Gen Z, and then it's Gen Alpha. Hi, Nick. Welcome in, gamer. I'm about to get my ass ate by that guy. Well, so far, so good. Oh, he's kind of... Oh, Lucian is going in. Lucian does not give a fuck. Oh, that does damage high. Lucian does not give a fuck. What a guy. Okay, come on. Hot women. Hot women. Oh shit. Do you have blood? Can I drain your blood? Nope. No blood. Okay. So no blood? No blood. Can fire do damage to you? I don't know if I'm doing anything. I don't think, maybe? No, I'm not doing a lot of damage, but it's the thought that counts, okay? You know, let's, oh, there he goes. Whee! Let's, we'll heal our boy Lucian for this. There we go. And all our hot women seem to still be doing okay. We should be all right. It looks like it's just him. Yeah, okay. We just need to get his shield down. Why does he still have that? Put that, oh, jeez, okay. Let's, swarm him. All right, let's try the Flesh Daddy approach. Get in there, big fella. You can't shield the magic of fists. There we go. Okay. Alright, is the flesh... Oh, shit. Okay, okay. Okay. Come on. Come on, Flesh Daddies. Fuck him up. Fuck him up. Come on, big boys. Big boys, come on. Alright, we still have one Flame Woman, I think. Maybe we'll have one more. Yeah, let's do one more. Flesh Daddies. They're... Because they look like leather daddies. But they're made of human flesh. See? He's kind of got the BDSM vibe going on, okay? Alright. It's time to fist the Dragon Priest. Hello, sir. Your anus, I need it. Hey! Okay, I'm so sorry. That was for Jasper playthrough, not this playthrough. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But we do have it.
With the eye.
Alright. Let's get that twink obliterated. Alright, let's see if there's any other loot over here. We do have a shit ton of artifacts for when we come back. I don't think there was anything on these guys. No, didn't look like it. Nothing special. Okay, let me get my... If I recall correctly, there's a way to get out of here that's not going all the way back. And I feel like there's more loot that we're... Yeah. Okay, how do I get out of here? Big boy? Can you go somewhere else? I can't. Yeah, how do I get back there? I can't see. Maybe it's over here? I don't know. It's behind the waterfall. Oh, well, there is a chest under the waterfall. Not what I wanted, but that works. Okay. Let me open that. Let's see. Here we go. This one? Oh, no, that's a word, though. Can I have the word, please? Is it not a word wall? Is it just steam? Maybe it's just steam. It looked like a word wall. Okay. Oh, look at Lucian swimming. Yeah, no, that is just steam. Whoopsie. There's a smaller version, is the flesh ash. Oh, okay. Well, maybe we have like the sugar babies too. You know, not just the daddies. No, there's gotta be a way to get over. Oh wait, I'm fucking stupid. Hold on. The way is up. Good job, EB. Good job. Okay, here we go. Can I just do a little hop skip over? Wow. I'm so smart. I am so intelligent. Okay, and then another chest over here. Ooh, Dietrich boots. Yeah, let's take all these just for the hell of it. Fuck it. Alright.
I'm sorry, friends. I'm so sorry.
It's chill.
I had no
Everyone
choice.
died, but it's
It was
cool.
the only way to make sure that monster never escaped. I promise you.
Don't
I'll
worry,
never let
I
this
killed
happen
him.
Again. I'll seal this whole place away.
Yay. Okay, anyway. Let's head back to the college so they will tell us just how cool and fun and sexy we are. Alright. Aha! I need to go back to Skyrim, please. Oh, not that way. This way. Yes, bring me back to Skyrim, please. To Skyrim. Whoop! Alright. Oh, that was the door from before. Okay, I know where we are.
So, you made it out of there alive. Ankana was right. You are dangerous.
I am dangerous.
I'm afraid I'll have to take that staff from you now. Ankana wants it kept safe. Oh, and he wants you dead.
I'm not letting
Nothing
a twink like you
personal.
touch my staff. Get out of my
You
way.
Fool. You don't stand a chance.
Yeah, I do. Okay. Give me that blood. You have blood. I can boil your blood. There we go. Mine! Okay. Get in there. Let me see. We'll do this one because I need to heal up a little bit. Okay, that missed, so I just wasted a bunch of my health for no reason. That's okay. It's about sending a message. Oh, shit. It's about sending a message. Okay, let's just, real quick. Real quick. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Kena. No, this is not Elden Ring. This is Skyrim, but with 800 mods. Actually, I think we're at 850. He doesn't have any good loot. You can't be like, I'm going to kill you and not drop good loot. Get with the fucking program, Jesus. It's called to the lamp. I mean, kind of. Can we get out this way? Here. Is this a... Oh, sir? You think he's gonna... fit? I don't... Leather Daddy, or... I'm sorry, Flesh Daddy, I think you might be too big for that one. I'm sorry. But, you know, you can go the other way. It's fine. It's okay. Welcome, gaming. Okay. And no... There we go. Alright, we're just gonna fast travel to the college because I am not doing that walk again. And getting my ass handed again. But let's wrap this puppy up. So where is... Da-da-da-da. Here we go. College... Wait, what do you mean there's enemies nearby? Who the fuck is nearby? Oh, you! Alright, let's... Can I please do damage to you? Please, I'm begging. I'm literally on my hands and knees begging. Thank you! Yes! Yes! I love doing damage! And then can I boil your blood? Yay! It's mine! Okay, get out of here. Alright, can I go now? Can I please go now? Thank you. It's time to skedaddle. Alright, let's head back to Winterhold. Why is it not letting me fast travel there? There we go. And let's wrap this puppy up. We're gonna kill the other twink, And then I think we're done. Then I think we're Archmage. I don't think we have that much more to do in College of Winterhold. So let's take a look-see. Big boy crate till he gets stuck in a tunnel. It's okay, me too. Who the fuck are you?
That looks dangerous.
Shut up. Chicken. Okay. Let's see if we can get back there. And we should be fine. How many twinks have you killed today? I think just the one so far. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, might be another one. You guys good? Oh, jeez. I'm gonna step past that. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, howdy. But yeah, twink kill counters at 1, hopefully to be at 2 by the end of the stream.
You survived. You have it then?
I did! Oh, whoa.
Physics believe it to be.
Yeah, where's Mirabelle?
She didn't make it.
Damn, that's
When
crazy.
it was clear we were going to have to fall back. She stayed behind and made
Did you
sure
sleep
that
with Tolfdir yet? No, we're saving that for Jasper. I'm sure Jasper is willing to get that, that granddad bussy.
Look for yourself. Ancano's power is growing. We can't crack whatever magic he's using to shield himself.
Oh, damn.
I hope your trip to Labyrinthium was worth it.
I don't think anything would make my trip to Labyrinthian worth it, but I appreciate the thought. Alright. Let's see. Give me that stick. Give me the stick. There we go. Okay. And now, let me in. Oh, wait, why is there a dragon? Wait, no. No. Time and place. Time and place. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not dealing with that today. You need to fucking die. Oh, that does no damage to you. Great, okay, can I have your blood, please? No, you don't take blood damage. Great, okay, you know what? We're bringing out the hot women. Bring out the hot ladies. Okay. I'm gonna simply, oh, jeez Louise. Okay, can you guys, I just wanna do damage. Please let me do damage. Please. Can I, does the fire work? Oh, shit. Woo! Okay, that did something. Okay, here we go. Alright, that's a friend's Frost Atronach, apparently. Okay. Ignore the big busty woman. She's a guardian of the college. Sorry, I know sometimes the sword bonks are kind of loud. They just touch tips really aggressively. I'm sorry. You can't get between. No, I'm not gonna get in between bro like that. All right. Hello.
You think I don't know what you're up to?
Yeah.
You think I can't destroy you? The power to unmake the world at my fingertips. And you think you can do anything about it?
What the fuck?
I am beyond your.
Why did that do anything? Hi, please. Look at the giver. Ooh, good luck cleaning your PC. That sounds stressful. I wish you luck. Oh, eyeball. Yee! Oh shit! Wait, what the fuck?
Very well.
You just paralyzed my friends. No! Stop that! Stop it! Oh, jeez Louise. Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? No. No. Stick to the status quo. If you want to be cool, follow us. Don't mess with the world. No. Okay. What the fuck does this staff even do? They said use it. I don't know what the fuck. Absorb 20 points of magicka. Okay, so this is Suck Staff Edition. Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ, where is he? Oh, no. Oh boy. Do something! Oh, he's level 56. Are my friends just like, okay. Wait, right. Oh, boy. Okay, hold on. Can I please? Okay, I can do damage to it. There we go. It may not have blood, but it is susceptible to fire. Okay, where's Arcana? Where'd you go? Where is he? Where is bro? Where is bro? He's just over there. Where the fuck? There you are! Come over here, you stupid twink! Wait, no, that's a friend. Fuck! Where'd the twink go? Shit! Okay, hold her on the eye till it opens. That's the only time he's vulnerable. Oh, okay, let me heal myself real quick. And then I will do that. Oh, jeez. Okay. One more. One more. All right, back to sucking. Okay. Open her up. Oh shit. Okay, okay. Is he out there? Oh, I do not have enough health potions for this. I do not. Oh, maybe I do actually. Okay. Oh shit. Okay, get him. Come on. More women. More women. Oh my god. Okay. Oh shit. He is eating my ass actually. For real. More women. Okay, is the eye open? No. Okay, open that bad boy back up. Open her back up. Okay. Okay, come on. Come on. Open up. Open up. Yay. Now that's what I call twink death. All right. Let's see. We got the artifact, the exquisite elven blade. And now we gotta talk to Tolfdir. Hey, bro.
I knew you could do it.
Thanks. I was, I don't think now's the time to learn alteration from him intimately. What do we do now? Hopefully not that.
I don't know. Ancano is gone, but whatever he's done to the eye doesn't seem to have stopped. I have no idea what to do.
I could hit it again. Oh, hey, you're back. I'm also going to turn the voices up just a teensy bit because they're really quiet with the little orb popping off. Hey, bro. What's popping?
We knew you would succeed.
Thanks.
Your victory here justifies our belief in you. You have proven yourself more than worthy to guide the College of Winterhold.
I'm gonna graduate! Yippee! Alright, how'd you know I'd be able to defeat him?
A great many things obscured to you are quite clear to us. We have long believed you would prevail.
Yay! Well, what now?
The eye has grown unstable. It cannot remain here, or else it may destroy your college and this world.
That's no
good. It
good.
must be secured. Onkano's actions prove that the world is not ready for such a thing. We shall safeguard it.
I got the dust mites
For
in the
now.
tower evicted. Nice.
You now have the opportunity to
I need to
maintain
get a
your
new
college
keyboard. My
and
keyboard
carry on
broke,
with your
and
lives.
I've
You have
been
our
using
gratitude,
a gamer
Archmage.
keyboard from Five Below ever since. It's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I know I need to like replace it at some point, but like the Five Below keyboard works fine. Like it's cool, it's chill, you know, that's fine. All right. Hey, are we gonna?
You have done the world a great service.
Is that it?
You've done it. The college is safe
Damn,
again
okay.
thanks to your work.
Yay!
I knew you had it in you. I dare say the Psijics are right. There's no
My old
one more
Razer
deserving
keyboard's
to
in
be
the other room, but she's
Archmage,
still using the
in my
Five Below
opinion.
one because the
Here,
Razer keyboard is so
consider these
goddamn
yours,
loud.
And the Archmage's quarters
It's
as well.
obnoxious.
I shall be here for advice.
I prefer
Good
the
news.
Five Below one with the mushy keys, okay? Alright, well damn. I'm the Archmage now. That's pretty cool. Now we do need to reforge the Galder amulet, but that bit shouldn't be too hard. I think we have all the pieces, so we might actually be able to do that in the Archmage's quarters, if I recall correctly. Five Below is a great place to go if you want to find things that work just well enough. Honestly, yeah, like I would love to get a nicer keyboard one day with switches that aren't ass fucking loud, but like, I don't know, it works, you know?
I'm sorry. What just happened?
I'm in charge now, bucko. I don't know where Lucian went, but I'm in charge now, bucko. Where's the Archmage quarters? Where are they? I thought they're over here. No mechanical keyboards. I don't know what it is, but the sound just bothers me. Like, I think it's a sensory thing, but it genuinely sounds like so grating to me. You know what I mean? Like, mechanical keyboard clicking is like one of those things where it makes my autism go, ah, in a bad way, not in a good way. Let's see. Alright. Check out the new things. Woo! Okay. Do we want to see Vanya in the Archmage robes? Yeah, we do. Hold on. Let's see. What she look like? It's probably not going to be good, but like, we gotta... Oh, no, she's bald! Oh. Well, she's kind of serving cunt, though. Here, can I get good lighting somewhere? Somewhere, please? Maybe, like, right over here? Oh, she's kind of eating that shit up. But she's bald. Can we make her not bald? Okay, that's also a look, not gonna lie. Can we please just, like, have the fit, but without the being bald? That would be cool. Hi, Draco! I love Vanya. She's my favorite. Out of all my OCs, she is admittedly one of my favorites because I love women that are bad people. I love women that do unspeakable horrors. But anyway, we do have our stuff back, and we have a shit ton of materials, which is really nice. Let's see, how do we reforge the Galder amulet? Will we do it at like a blacksmith? I guess, I don't know. But yeah, she is very fun. I'm glad you think so too, Jaikon. I like her a lot. Let's see, that's another copy of the Archmage's robes. It says we don't have that version of it though, so I guess we'll grab these two just in case. You want a wife who was killed and we'll do it again. Yeah, but like ideally kill for me, you know? Like a lot of the lore for Vanya's partner is literally, I don't agree with her moral choices, but she's hot, so it's
girl
fine.
boss.
Michael, thank you so much for the follow. You're now a Gaslight Geeky girl boss. I wasn't paying attention. What's up? We are now the Archmage of the College of Winterhold. So we have successfully graduated the College of Winterhold. Yippee! And we got promoted. You need a mod to let you put the hood down? Yeah, if we can get the hood down, it would honestly serve cunt. But like, I don't want her to be bald. So let's, now that we're, because here's the thing, like we still are gonna have to become Thane of Winterhold to get the weapon, but I kind of want to take a break from Winterhold for a little bit. Let's head back to the museum. Let's head back to Dragonborn Gallery. We have a shit ton of stuff to drop off in terms of displays, including the Galder amulet, right? And then we'll, wait, there's hidden panels? Oh, we'll have to check those out when we come back, because we're probably gonna have to come back when we do the Galder amulet stuff. But I do want to head to Dragonborn Gallery for now, just to unload our toad. We have so many fucking displays to add, and I'm honestly really excited. We also have some paintings to put up too, which will be really fun. But we'll have to open the hidden panels when we get back, because I didn't know there was hidden panels in the Archmage quarters. We'll have to check that out. Alright, let's see. I heard my name. I don't remember what I was yapping about. I'm gonna be real. I talk at like the speed of sound. I don't remember what I'm saying ever. Okay, let's see. Hello. Did we ever find Inigo again? We gotta find him, right? He's gotta be around here somewhere. He can't be hiding that much, right? Like, we're sure to find him again. I'm positive. All right, let's see. Let's sort all our... Well, okay, hold on. Actually, before we do that, I want to make sure it doesn't take the Galder amulet, like, pieces out. Like, it shouldn't, but just in case, right? Let's, let me see. Let's actually go upstairs, forge the Galder amulet back, right? And then we'll sort our displays. So let me go up to the safe house real quick, and then we'll see what's poppin'. I think we can also put back up the Anatomancer's pipe as well, because we have that, and I know it has a display. It's just like a hidden display or something like that, which is kind of frustrating because I like the auto sort function a lot, but you know, the streamer talks at the speed of scuff and the retention of a goldfish. I mean, yeah. What about it? So let's see. Yeah, isn't it like, I think it's in here actually, in one of these. Let me. I could have sworn I had a display. Yeah, this is home. I like our home. It's very cozy. I don't know, something about the safe house always, like, there's so many cool player homes, but like, something about the safe house just hits, you know? It just feels nice. So, how do we get the Galder amulet? Because we have it, you know? Like, we have all the pieces. How do I reforge it? Let's see. I defeated brothers and reclaimed the fragments of the amulet. Perhaps Galder's tomb holds the secret to restoring it in its original form. So I guess we have to go a place then? Let me see. Does that give us like a place to go to his tomb? Is that like... Turn the Labyrinthian? I'm not doing that. I don't want to go back to Labyrinthian, and you can't make me. Okay, so we have to go over here to reforge the Galder amulet. Okay, so in that case, then we'll skedaddle real quick. Okay, for some reason I thought you could just do it at a blacksmith station, but I was wrong. Let's see. Yeah, we'll head over there, reforge that real quick. Hopefully it won't take too long, and then we can like finally put our clothes on all the we can finally put a close to all the College of Winterhold stuff. So let's skedaddly doot over there. Right by. Yeah, right by the bone altar. Okay, here we go. So it shouldn't take us long to get there. Okay. Hello. Do I have any bones? Yeah. I have enough bones now. Boner time. We have our boners back. Yay! Yay! Okay, another one. Can I make another boner? Mage that does stagger. Yeah. I figure out Apache Maid Armors needs an original mod. Ooh, interesting. Okay, we have another mage. Can I make another one? Another one. I want to make another one. Let me make another one. Another warrior. Yeah. Boner time. Boner time. Boner time. Boner time. It's been so long since we've had boners. I'm so excited. I'm wondering if maybe it was just a mistake with what's the word I'm looking for? I'm wondering if it was a mistake with the spell that lets us summon an altar, because now we're an actual bone altar and it's fine. There's no issues here, right? So I'm wondering if that's what it was. What was it? Ooh, BHUMP conversion. Oh, interesting. I don't know. I like the maid outfits, but like, here's the thing, right? As someone who likes to dress up as a maid occasionally and who likes to dress up as a wench occasionally, right? I personally prefer like slutty Renaissance fair wench to maid outfit. As I say this as someone who's owned both, right? Sometimes what I do to like, okay, sometimes I really need to like work on getting motivation to clean and be productive. What?
When his ugly red head rolled around on the floor.
Oh, talk your shit. I didn't know you could sing, Lucian. You sound beautiful. Okay. So that's the thing is like, I feel like with maid outfits, they're very cute, but they're not as practical, right? So something I'll do low-key, if I really need to clean my house and I just can't get the motivation, I will just put on a maid outfit or my like Renaissance fair outfit, and then anything that needs to get done gets the fuck done, okay? EB Games loves her boners. Damn right I do. Damn fucking right I do. But it works, okay? And as someone who's done it in a maid outfit and a wench outfit is just so much more. Oh my god, that's a bear. Wench outfit is just so much more practical. Oh my god, that's 2 bears. Wait, what the fuck? Why is there? What the fuck? I have not just gone through all of that just to get mauled by a fucking bear. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, hold on. You need to go. You need to leave. Yeah, you need to go. You need to go. You are not welcome here. Let me boil your blood. Stop having blood. It's not allowed. No. Oh, fuck. Okay. I need to get the high ground. High ground. I have the high ground, Anakin. Okay, now I'm fucking dying. Hold up. Does he know how to get up here? I guess he does. Okay, shit. Boil your blood. Oh, that dude doing no damage. Drain health? Yeah. I need your health. I need it. It's for me. It's for me. Yes. Mine. Mine. Okay, I have enough health back. Boils your blood. XD, Lamau. Okay. Didn't do enough damage. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay, that was frustrating. that was a lot. Okay, is there another bear still there? Yeah, there is, but I guess the homies are handling it, so it's fine. It's cool. I didn't think I would almost get bested by a bear after all. Well, to be fair, it was 2 bears, so, you know. Let's see, can I... Oh, shit, that could have been bad. Can I... Some have argued, some don't. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I like the maid outfit mods. They're super cute. It's just one of those things where it's like, I think they're cute, but I probably wouldn't ever use them. You know what I mean? Just because it's like, I like cute things, but I also like to still be like I feel like I'm kind of in the middle of like immersive versus not immersive. You know what I mean? Okay, let's head in here and let's see if we can reforge the amulet. Hello, my boners. Okay, in here? The right place to go? Looks like it. Alright. Where do I need to get the thingy? Where am I reforging? Whoa, oh shit. God damn it. Let's take a look-see. Doesn't look like there's anyone in here so far. I don't know where the fuck Lucian is, but that's okay. Oh. Hey. Oh, well, I'll take these potions. Ancient edict. Let me read that before I grab this claw off the platform. Let this place be forgotten forever. Let it be struck from the rolls of history. Let it never be spoken of by man or mer. Let its very name be lost to the ages. Ye who enter here know. This place was sealed at a great price. Honor those who perished here. Turn back and leave them to their rest. This sign can't stop me because I can't read. Alright, anyway. Let's see what the little equation is here. It was the Jade Claw? Yeah, there we go. Reforging the ammo takes 2 different dragon claws, doesn't it? Oh. Interesting. Wait, where'd the claw go? Huh? I just picked it up. Huh? Where's the claw? Oh, I think I was looking at the wrong one. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I think it's the ivory one and the jade one. If it's not, then we're in trouble. Okay, bird, fish, snake. Okay, bird, fish, snake. So this is bird, fish. This one needs to be fish. And this one needs to be snake. Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. Some are made to resemble the metal from vanilla armor. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Wait, does that work? Oh, so it should be the ivory one? Oh, well, let's look at the ivory. Not that one. Bird, bird, dragon. Well, this one doesn't have a dragon on. Does it? No, so it has to be the jade one. Where'd the fucking claw go? This could be a problem. Yeah, so that's bird, bird, dragon. And this one... Emerald, not jade. Oh, that's bear, fish, snake. Okay, bear, fish, snake. Okay, bear, fish, snake. Okay, I had it wrong. I don't know why I thought it was the other thing. Bear, fish, snake. Okay, this should work. Yay! Okay, perfect. Let me in. Oh wow, that is fucking loud. Jesus. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, then this is gonna be the ivory. Let's see. That one, dragon. Yeah. Okay, so ivory. Bird, bird, dragon. Okay. Oh wait, no, that one's alright. Shit. Wait, hello, sir. Sir, I got this. I got this. Bird, bird, dragon. This one more time. Okay, this should work. No, stop pushing me. Okay. I love my boners, but they're very clingy. We got it. There's gold over there. Nothing too crazy, it looks like. But we got in at the very least, and now we can... Oh, what's behind this door? See a lever for that one. Hold up. Let me get some light in here. The boners won't stop rubbing up on you? Yeah, tell them to stop. They're all hard and pointy. I don't like it. Okay. Yeah, is there no... Might be something we see later on then for this door. Okay, we'll go this way for now. Because the game's even telling me to go that way. Hi! Hey, how are you? What's going on? Boop, boop, boop. Hey! Hi! Are we cool here? Oh, no. Okay, we are not. Whoa, okay, we are not. Okay, that's a whole ass man. Hold up. We are not cool here. Good to know. Oh, fuck. It's taking my health to cast spells. Okay, that's fun. I think you guys got this. Yeah, you guys should be fine. Let me heal myself real quick. That's right. I have a blood spell in hand, so it's using blood to cast it. Okay. Alright. I don't I'm afraid to kill some of my boners, but it looks like they're handling this just fine. Yeah, I think they're good. They got your ass, huh? Okay. All right, next one coming out. Oh shit. Okay. Oh fuck. Okay. Okay. Let me get my firebolt out. Okay, because now I do need to do stuff. You're a fake, aren't you? And then are you? Okay. Where'd he go? Where's he going? Where we drop it? Okay, that one's a fake. Get rid of that one. One over here. Might as well get rid of the fakes, right? Okay. Now there's multitudes. Okay. God, the way the boaters are just running around everywhere is so funny to me. No! When are they gonna stop multiplying? God, get away from the pillar, you're cheating. Is that it? Oh no, now his health's back again. We're gonna do it again? Okay, he's dead, so just one more then. Alright. Time for dude number 3. He has a shield up or something. Oh, I do like no damage to him. Whoa! Okay. There we go. Yeah, I don't know why I don't do any damage to him, but at least the boners are handling it good. Look at him go! They got his ass. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, he resists it. Okay. What can he take damage from? I don't fucking know, dude. Yeah, he don't do nothing. Okay, we might need to bring in Flesh Daddy again. Where'd he go? Oh, he's still right here. Yeah, let's bring in the Flesh Daddies just so that way, if the fire damage doesn't work, then we still have something then. Here he goes. Oh, I need to pray! Shit! I need to bless up. The game just reminded me I haven't prayed in a while. God damn it. Come on! Woo! Ah! Okay, everything's exploding. I guess that's one. Right. And... that it? Oh, no. Okay. Okay, we're just gonna preemptively get all the big boys out. Oh, was that it? Huh? Hello? Oh. What is bro doing? Whoa! Alright. Well, that worked. Hell yeah, we got the achievement too. Cool. Alright, let me... Okay. Alright. Well, that wasn't too bad. When you have your boner, anything's possible. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Hi, Rainbow! Welcome in, gamer. We just reforged the Galder amulet. We have assembled our army of boners once again. And now we know that everything's gonna be okay. Now, how the fuck do I get out of here? Did I just go back the way I came? Is there no shortcut with this one? I thought there was, but I could be wrong. Let's see. But now we can go back to the museum and finally sort all our shit and see kind of what's going on. Let's see. Yeah, I think we can just walk out this way. It's not a super big dungeon, to be honest, so it shouldn't be too bad. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any artifacts or anything like that. I need my comfort boners. Amen to that, brother. Amen. All right. Hello. No shortcut. Aw, that's okay. Hi, Bandhammer. Welcome in, gamer. Alright, let's see if we can just hustle and shimmy our way out of here. And then we'll see how many displays we have, right? I'm hoping... I think we're at like 508 something, so maybe we can get to like 520 or something like that today. So let's head back over here. Not to... yeah, to Dragonborn Gallery. There we go. Do we have any Thane quests that are in progress? I know we kind of... well, we need to go figure out what to do for the... I think we started the Winterhold one, but I don't know if we finished it. I don't remember, actually. Okay, and the game crashed. Well, at least it took a hot minute for it to do that this time. Okay, we'll take that. Let's just restart it then real quick. I'm willing to bet that time it was because of my massive boner army. Let's start over again. It'll be okay. It'd be so funny if someone from Bethesda watched you and they put an Easter egg in the game. So, someone does. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Someone does. Yeah. I don't think they would have the power to do that, but yeah. But he's cool. He's one of David's friends. Alright, let's see. Alright, it says my EMB is compiling shaders. Come on. Come on. There she goes. Okay. Okay. Is beatboxing at me? Do we get the logo? Logo! Okay, there we go. I don't think Todd Howard knows of my existence, and frankly, it's probably for the best. I don't think Todd Howard would be very happy with my streams. I don't think he'd be a gamer. I don't think he'd want to join the EB Games fan club. I think he'd be a little opposed to that. Okay, we have a loading screen. There we go. All right, where does it spit me out if I hit continue? Let's see. Because if we're lucky, it'll put us at the museum, but it might put us outside of the dungeon we just did. So we'll see. Loading, loading, loading. We should level up soon, though, so that's cool. Let's see. Loading, 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 loading. It would also be funny if they put an extremely broken OP spell in the game, but made a single spell book for it. Congrats, you won. Have fun turning everyone's bones into fire. You know what? I fuck with that. So let's try going to just like regular ass Solitude this time, and we'll take the long way to Dragonborn Gallery, and we'll see if that works. If not, then we got something else to figure out. All right. Hello? Let's quick save real quick, just in case. There we go. Are we all here? Alright, we have Lucian. I still don't know where Inigo is. Can we whistle for him? We have something for him. Inigo? Anyone got word on if they've made a testicular torsion spell yet? I personally have not seen one, but I hope one is out there. Inigo? See the boners, but I don't see my cat. Alright, well, that's alright. Oh, those dead bodies are still in the street. Glad to see that, some things never change. Good to know. Good to know. Alright. I'm not gonna be super speedy getting there just because I don't want to accidentally load a cell too fast or whatever and it freaks the fuck out, but we should be fine to just get there with a little bit of moxie in our step. Alright. Hello, Dragonborn Gallery. Hello! I'm here to unload my toad. I have lots of things in my toad. Okay. Doo-doo-doo. Hello, Dragonborn Gallery. Hello, Eve. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's see what's poppin'. Found one. Ooh. Inigo does have a retrieval method built in, but requires doing his personal quest to obtain. Yeah, I think we just started the headaches thing. Yeah, we may need to go back home or the Rift in jail. So that's something we can definitely check if he doesn't turn up. Okay, let's see. I know we have some stuff in the container. Okay, we're at 527. Let's see. There we go. So let's just take all right now, and then we'll put these up as well. Let's see. Alright, 536. We had 18 new displays. Yippee! Okay, awesome. You love to see it. I think we also have a painting as well we need to put up, so I think that's just one. But let's see if we can find a spot for that painting then. Let's see. He's supposed to have a map marker. He very well could, and I just missed it, but I haven't seen it when I was looking through the map before. Deals 1k damage to all male targets. Women are immune. Notified an endometriosis spell. I mean, yeah. Okay, there might be room maybe upstairs for some more paintings. Let's see, or just in a different part of the museum. Let's see. Yeah, because that's the entrance. I think maybe up here. Let's see, there's gotta be another place we... Yeah, there goes some of the helmets and whatnot. There's all our jewelry. We don't have as much over with the fancy gloves quite yet, though. But we do have some of our Drainblood stuff. We still haven't found all the Drainblood weapons. I don't think they're just in there, which is good to know. But I'd like to know where the rest of them are. We also don't have as much lunar stuff as I would like either, so that's gonna be something we'll need to look for too. All right, painting. Okay, yeah, we just have one painting, but that's okay. Alrighty, so we did complete College of Winterhold. I said we would do it, and some of you doubted me, but we did it. Have you checked out V6 yet? I have not. The thing with the new Legacy of the Dragonborn update is I'm definitely gonna look at it, but I'm probably not gonna update anytime soon just because, like, I don't want to break my mods, man. We're, like, probably 60 hours into the Vanya playthrough, and it's like, I don't want to lose her. I don't want to risk losing her by changing everything. We've made so much progress, you know. I know 500 isn't a lot for some people with the museum, but it's a lot for me, and I'm still very excited. I think we've made a lot of progress, and I'm very proud of myself. So, here's what we're gonna do, because I wanted to stream a little bit longer. I've been trying to, like, my goal for myself is I want to start streaming for, like, 3 hours at a time rather than just 2. So I feel bad, but because I have all these allergies going on, my throat kind of hurts just from, like, talking and coughing and stuff. So normally I try to push through, but today we're gonna end here, I think, for today. And I feel like this is a good spot to end. You know, we had a goal and we accomplished it, and we got a bunch of other cool stuff to put in our museum. Take a look at the. Oh yeah, let me see. Here, get some more light on that just so we can see that a little bit better. Yeah, we got the Galdar amulet, we have the enchanted rings, the Sarthal amulet, the black blade, the staff, the black bow. We still need these things to fully complete the display. But
Don't look at me like that. It was just a suggestion.
It's like Lucian heard us talking about the new version of Legacy, and it was like, have you thought about redecorating? No. But yeah, we're gonna stay on this playthrough for quite a while, honestly. I do wish, the one thing that I don't like about Vortex, because I used Mod Organizer 2 for years. The one thing I really like about Vortex is you could switch between mod lists pretty easily with their profile system, and the one for Vortex isn't exactly the same, you know, so it's hard to switch between mod lists with Vortex. But I do have other playthroughs planned, but Vanya's probably going to be still, like, our long-term, like, completionist playthrough, as well as, like, then a character-focused playthrough. And, like, Vanya's is still character-focused, but she has, like, a lore reason for doing everything. She wants to, oh, right, we need to pray. Hold up. I forgot we need to bless up. We'll bless up right now. I mean, what better place to bless up for Hermaeus Mora than a museum? That's filled with knowledge. You gotta love that shit. But yeah, so she's gonna be like our long-term playthrough. I am kind of nervous because, like, the end game for the Jasper playthrough is to sex everyone in Amorous Adventures. That is the end goal for that one, is to do all the Amorous Adventures quest lines, because they're funny, and I like them. But then after that, I already have another playthrough planned, and I'm really excited for it. I just have to see if, like, I worry about it because I want it to be a Civil War focused playthrough, because we haven't really done one of those before. We kind of did with Severin, but it wasn't like, I want to redo Severin's playthrough at 1.2 because I have, like, new mods for it. And honestly, Severin's playthrough, a lot of it was me getting distracted and not playing him the way I wanted to play him, if that makes sense, because I got distracted by hot women. But I want to take a look at the Conquest mod, because that looks really cool. The mod where you can kind of be your own side in the Civil War, and it overhauls it. I know I'm going to have to change a lot of things with my mod list to get it to work, so I'm definitely, it's not going to be anytime soon, but once Jasper's playthrough is done, I'm going to start looking at that and see if there's a way I can, like, maybe still preserve Vanya's save or something like that. I don't know. We're going to have to look into it, but that is for another time. So gamers, let me get the tunes on while we say our farewells to each other. Gamers, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you had a fun time. I hope you had some laughs. I know I did. And we did it! We got through what we needed to get through. I'm proud of us. So let me see if my commands are working. We'll see. No, they're not. Great. Well, you can see down below I have a Discord and I have a YouTube. We are going to, probably the week after debut is when I'm planning on doing, I'm saying a movie night, but it's not going to be a movie night. It's going to be a video essay watch party. So that is going to be happening, not this coming week, but next week. Maybe don't do it in caps here. Let me see. Yeah, no, I think I just need to reactivate Streamlabs. Sometimes Streamlabs, like, turns stuff off, like, without saying anything, which is kind of annoying. But you know where the Discord is. It can have multiple profiles for the game with individual saves just for the profile. Oh. Oh, so it has to be for like one save has this and then the other save has this mod list, because that could work then. Actually, that might be okay. I'm definitely gonna make lots of backups. I back up Vanya's save probably every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. I honestly, I should do it after every stream, but if that's the case, then we should be good as long as we remember to switch it before each like playthrough, you know. But yeah, so all this stuff is down below. We're gonna be starting doing Discord movie nights again next week. I don't know what day yet. I have to think about it. And then actually I have changed my stream schedule. I used to stream every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, but now I'm actually you're gonna see me again tomorrow. I'm actually gonna be streaming tomorrow. So if you didn't get enough of today, I will be back tomorrow. We're gonna be doing some singing, actually. We're gonna do karaoke. We're gonna have to see how my cough is. We may have to switch to something different. Just because it was a karaoke stream where we're gonna plan my set list for my debut, and pick some songs that are kind of related to the themes of my new model and stuff like that. But if my cough doesn't go away, then we're gonna have to kind of see what happens, you know. So we'll play it by ear tomorrow. But I will be here tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. EST. Meebee nights, yes, we're gonna have Meebee nights. It'll be fun. But yeah, so that will be coming up. But yeah, and then also there's a thing I need. I talked about this earlier, but I have to shameless plug again. Where's my shameless plug? Aha! Da-da-da! On June 30th is my birthday! So I'm gonna be doing a birthday donathon. It's gonna be a lot of fun. My goal is to stream for 12 hours. It's probably gonna be capped at 12 hours, although there is a stretch goal to remove the cap. So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna be turning 24. We also have a punishment wheel. More info on what that's going to look like a little bit later. But yeah, that is my goal. 12 hours. That is my goal. Stock up on food, water, and take breaks. That's my plan. My plan is it's probably gonna be, I don't think the timer, if the timer doesn't go past 12 hours, I'm probably gonna do it all in one go. That's my goal, is to do it all in one go if it's 12 hours. But if it gets to like more than that, I'm probably gonna do like a stop the timer if I need to like sleep or anything like that, and then as soon as I wake up, eat breakfast, I'm gonna be back and the timer is gonna be back on. I don't anticipate it going longer than that, but just in case, you know, just in case. But yeah, so that's my goal. All the money that we make from the donathon is gonna go towards rebuilding my savings, because as you all remember, I went through tax hell. And everyone told me that it would be only $500 to $1,000 I'd have to pay in taxes, and then it was $2,500. So I'm trying to rebuild my savings so I can start taking sick days and stuff again, and make sure I can like take a vacation if I want to or anything like that, you know, because when you're a freelancer, you don't get sick time. So I kind of just want to stack up, see if I can rebuild my savings a little bit more. So that's what this is kind of going for. It's not like a concrete goal, you know, but it's like, well, it's kind of, you know, like, yeah, so that'll be happening on Sunday, and I'm really excited. I have a new model that's gonna be coming out. I have a voice-acted lore video with original music written by myself, and then I also have an original song coming out. My first original song's gonna be coming out, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a big plan. So we're gonna start the stream at 12:30, and then hopefully the debut itself will be at 6:30 p.m. EST, and I'm hoping to stream all throughout that. We'll probably take like a break at like 6 so I can like just make sure everything's set up on OBS, just like a 30-minute break, and then we'll start the debut, and then we'll just keep going. So yeah, gamers, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you had a lot of fun. Let's see who is live right now, who we can send our love and affection toward. Let me see. Maybe you can budget a savings account you can pull from specifically for sick days. That's what I have right now. But with taxes, I had to drain my entire business savings account and my personal savings account. So my goal is to probably rebuild that, and then maybe pay off some credit card debt I had to get to go to Off-Kai. So that's my plan right now, you know. 5:45 lunch and scuff check. Yeah! But that's my goal. I just want to feel a little bit more comfy, because I got COVID and I had to work while having COVID, and that kind of sucked, not gonna lie. So I'm hoping I can kind of rebuild, and I have been working with my accountant, so we're better prepared. I'm paying more taxes. I think I pay like $150 more per month than I used to, and that adds up to about $1,700, which was the amount I owed on like my personal taxes. Then I think the business taxes was like $500 and then a $300 filing fee for property taxes. It was weird because like I don't own any property, but I had to pay property tax on property I didn't own. Like just to file the form cost $300, which is crazy to me. Like I literally pay $300 to file a form that's like, yeah, I still don't own property. Thanks. Like, which is dumb, you know. But I feel like I don't know, being a full-time freelancer is definitely like scary, you know. It's still like 10 times better than school, but it's still kind of like I'm still learning, you know, different things and how to handle, you know, my bookkeeping and stuff like that. But it's gotten a lot better now that I'm full-time. I've been able to organize stuff a little bit more. Whereas when I was part-time and split between freelancing and school, it was like I never had time or energy to really make things organized. But now things are a lot better. So I don't think next year will be as bad. This year just kind of bent me over and fucked me. So let's see who we can raid. Who's online right now? We're gonna go raid. Let's go raid Delu. Delu is one of my vocal students. She's very sweet. She is playing 80s right now. And let's do, what should our raid message be? What do we want to make our raid message, gamers? Because I don't think we raid Delu very often, so I don't want to be weird. Do we want to just be basic with EB raid? Here, we'll put the gun emote in there just for fun. So just EB raid, and then gun. There we go. And maybe that one too. Fuck it. Alright, gamers. I will catch you on the flip side. I will see you tomorrow, and have a wonderful rest of your night. Bye-bye!